Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2020. It's Champions. It's episode number 5. We're at the U.S. National Championship road race. It is that traditional course, and I have got to get somebody into the breakaway. There's 89 in the peloton, and that is absolutely essential for us that we have one or even two riders in the breakaway today. Everybody else is going to ride and hope to try to survive for the top 10. But this race is notorious for the breakaway claiming the victory. That is that big reason why we really need to get somebody. Hulk can climb a bit. That's helpful. Ant-Man's not looking so good today. We're going to have Ant-Man working and the peloton protecting somebody. Captain America's on a +1. Not much of a climber, but he's got 60 mountain, 60 resistance. I think he's one we could throw in the breakaway. So we'll let him get away, and then meanwhile we have Star-Lord here. Ooh, Hulk, why are you still going forward?
A surprise attack.
Star-Lord is 62.58. There's a second rider to put in the break. And that's 3 riders away. We've got 2 of them. Wouldn't that be something if those 3 went on?
There's an attack in the group at the front.
After a 30-second gap. Spider-Man coming up, 58 mountain, 56 resistance today, not good. Let's go ahead and get Ant-Man protecting Hulk. Okay, we're going to need to push a little bit harder to pull away. Just 33 seconds. That's because we are pulling it back. Just in that last little moment, these guys came forward. Iron Man is 62, but only a 58 resistance. Nebula, ouch, 55. Go ahead, that's everybody too. So really Hulk is our big hope for the day, and Iron Man is really all we have otherwise. Okay, those guys easing off. We quickly opened up about 10-15 more seconds. It looked like there were some riders that came forward and are trying to attack. I don't mind the numbers as long as it's less than 10 in the break. The bigger the group, actually the better the chance that they are able to stay away. You get more riders in this front group, you get fewer teams with a vested interest to bring it back, and then all of a sudden, poof, you got a big breakaway. There are 2 riders coming off front right now, though. That's about to make it 11, which actually could still work out for us because then, worst case scenario, you're 10th and 11th.
There's more than a minute on the clock.
So it's time to back off a little bit for these guys. Let those next 6 riders come up. And that is 10 off the front, so one of those was brought back in. That's a near perfect number. Love to see that breakaway establish a large lead. Right now it's only a minute and a half though. Hopefully we'll see that peloton take its foot off the gas. Oh yeah, coffee? Oh yeah, let's work together. And then I'm not actually going to cooperate, but let's work together. Back off a little more. I'd like the front 9 to come together at least. Are we just that slow? Peloton. Oh, there we go. It's out over 2 minutes. It's out over 2 minutes, and it's 10 riders. Still trying to establish a break, though. If we contribute, others contribute. That's often how this thing works. We work too hard, not hard enough. They don't work hard or not hard enough. 2:43 is the gap. This is our race right here. This is our big hope. That we, at worst, take 9th place if this group can win this thing. Okay, we've got everybody contributing, and we've got a 3-minute gap that is growing. Let's keep an eye on that gap. All of our hopes are
The pace is
riding
quite
on
slow
this
on this
thing
section.
going
The
out
riders
to
are
8,
obviously keeping
10,
something
15
back.
minutes.
We should be
And
in
right
for
now
quite
it's
a
not.
finish.
It's holding at 3:17. Rally UHC, and EF. Do they have anybody in this group? No, they do not. This is not the right break. Yeah, that's a bad sign for us. Those two teams holding the gap at 3. They have plenty of firepower to keep this thing in check.
The lead is being cut. The breakaway is not to everybody's liking. The peloton has significantly increased its speed.
You need a rider from each of those two teams. Looks like UAE has a slight vested interest, but they also only have a couple riders. But the two big American teams, Rally and UHC, oh sorry, EF, Rally and Rally and EF, those two teams, right? They contain way too many American riders, so they have the firepower. They're the only ones who would chase it back, and the only reason they would chase it back is that neither of them has a rider in the break, which is exactly the case. So no rider in the break means those guys keep it in check, and we're screwed. So now we have to try to get a top 10 the old-fashioned way on a very undulating, punchy course that does not favor us. Not even Hulk. 65.59 is not going to go down terribly well on our chances to get a top 10. So gap down to 230. We will contribute, but we're not going to contribute much because I can see exactly where this thing is headed. I'd rather see this come back and a new attempt at a breakaway forming and send, you know, Spider-Man, Iron Man, or Nebula into the break on the second attempt and hope that EF and Raleigh put somebody in that break, and then we could just see the break go away. Figures the one time that I actually put some, well, no, it's not the one time that this has happened. We've seen it play out in career mode a time or two. We've taken that top 10 being in the break when the break had the massive gap, and we've been in the top 10 when it didn't. So I've seen it go both ways. But the explanation is rather simple. Let's go ahead and scoot forward in time. They're not going to let this thing go away, stay away. I mean, they've already pulled back 45 seconds, and they've got a lot of riders working on the front. Nearly lost Star-Lord off the back. I am trying to keep Star-Lord out of the mix, but that's hard to do unless they're on relay. So we have to up the effort to keep him in place as the others ride, just to fight to stay on the wheel. He'll conserve a little bit of energy. It won't be as bad as contributing. You can see this group is actually starting to struggle a little bit to hold position. The chase is getting pretty hefty. There's still 87k to go, but they're chasing pretty hard. We lost one rider from the break. It's down to 9, but the gap's also down to 1.5 minutes.
A fall has just happened in the peloton.
Got Captain
Several
America
riders are on the
technically
ground.
contributing.
Now the guys up front are asking serious
But
questions
not
of
in
the
enough
riders in
of
the
a
rear
pace
as
that
more of them are left
we
in
end
the
up
wake.
both just kind of tagging on. But because he's technically contributing, we are not getting the other team, the other riders, angry enough that they're attacking us. Star-Lord's struggling to hang on at an 82. These guys struggling to hold position at an 80. 75k to go. Already a smaller peloton and smaller breakaway. So yeah, tough day. Not the kind of day that's going to favor this team. Really hoping for a top 10 here so that we can
A couple of teams have set themselves up as pacemakers for the
steal
pack.
some
They obviously don't
sponsor
have anybody in the
confidence.
breakaway group. So this is the last third of the
It's
race.
one of the
Anyone
easiest
who's
ways to
gunning
get
for
it,
victory
but
has got to make a move
so far
fairly
it's
soon.
not been favorable conditions to get that top 10. 6 climbs to go. Once we hit the top here, we'll be down to the last handful. Star-Lord struggling to
The
stay
lead
on
over
the
the
wheel
pack
at
is
85.
dwindling.
Get some water.
The pack is increasing its work rate. Some teams can't be happy with the breakaway.
Ant-Man, before
the
you're
guys
gone,
up front
go ahead and
aren't
get
going to be
water.
making too many friends today.
Now just, never mind. Temporarily, it was 46. Last 20 regaining contact for now. Okay, they've recovered their front position, so they're doing a little better on that part. We're down inside a minute now, and this group is very much in danger of being caught in the near future. But also that does open a small window of opportunity for somebody to go away. New
The
break to
breakaway is
form.
not to
It's still
everybody's
early
liking.
enough,
The
so
peloton has significantly increased its
could be
speed.
a good thing if this group is caught sooner rather than later. 2 more riders falling away. Down to 7. Captain America actually the one working hard at the front and nobody else able to contribute. Is there that much fatigue in this group? Have they given up hope? Looks like they have. How about we do this? Star-Lord, attack, and you're gonna set up Captain America?
The pack has just reeled in the escape group.
don't
Another
you
attack
attack
in
as
the
well?
leading group.
Might as well send these 2 away. Rally, trying to get someone into the break. This could be really good for us if it succeeds. They've been caught. Who else do we have up here? Hulk. Ant-Man is done going backwards. Iron Man
the
would be a
pack
good
is
one to
quick in
go
the
forward.
pace.
Star-Lord maybe. Another go soon. 71, now 67 in the peloton. It's getting smaller and smaller. We only have 3 more climbs to go. I'm going to be down 2 riders soon. Captain America's not going to last long. Star-Lord has recovered. Star-Lord has recovered. We will see if we can get a new break formed. No, you know what? That's not happening right now. 85 and we couldn't even get forward. Iron Man. Forward a little easier at an 82. These guys don't want to break away right now. You can tell from the pace.
The peloton has slowed down a bit.
52k per hour. 50. Yeah, they're pushing. They're still pushing. They're trying to control the peloton right now. They are not letting a break get away. So we've got to watch for them to let up a little bit. 6 riders go off the back. Nebula, Ant-Man both struggling here. Ant-Man's going to be the first one going out the back. Nebula will be the next. Captain America is struggling, but actually recovering energy a little bit over the last little bit. Oh, just caught on that split. That's okay. They were pretty much done anyway. See Spider-Man, and at 82 is struggling to stay in this group of now 48 riders. We need to reestablish what we're going to do with these last 4 riders. Spider-Man misses a split, but it's just a bike length from coming back together, and it does. So reevaluate. Hulk, top climber, best condition. Star-Lord is tired after being in the break. Spider-Man not looking so good, so let's get you protecting Hulk, and then decide here real quick. 62.58. 62.58. Identical, but one was in the break, one wasn't. So, Star-Lord, protect Iron Man. Keep an eye on the pace. Still 50K. It is a little bit lower now. It's a little bit slower this time around. 2 laps to go.
15 kilometers to the finish line.
I think this will be a good time to try to send somebody. Like, say, Spider-Man. Spider-Man, let's go forward. Down to 35, and we are struggling at the back with the tempo. That's what it also takes to try to conserve some energy. So, time to go forward. Spider-Man can't even get forward with this effort level. Down to 34, and next time is it. So this would be the time to try to get away. If they aren't interested in chasing, if they let up on the tempo a little bit, we could go off and maybe win this thing.
Left.
Small chance of that happening, but still a chance. Okay, so Spider-Man to go on the attack. Hopefully the rest laugh at him for doing so. And then we're going to take these other 3. Hulk to follow Iron Man, to follow Star-Lord. And we're going to start easing our way forward. Gel for both of these 2. Now I don't want to chase myself down. Oh, come on. Spider-Man, can you even get off the front? No. Okay, Spider-Man cannot escape the front, so go ahead and sit up. Rally. Simple little acceleration covered the gap. So we'll get you in the line. Star-Lord to the front. 4-man lead out. Here we go. Down to 33 riders, so we'll be in the top 30. I think we could at least pull off a top 25 here. Star-Lord's done. On to Spider-Man. 4K to go. Can't be thinking much about the win. We're thinking about trying to get top 10. So, strong positioning, not working overly hard, not destroying my teammates as we go to lap somebody. 2K to go. We're in a good place here. Iron Man feeling the burn. Hulk feeling it just a little, but not as bad. Here's the last uphill swing. Okay, Spider-Man, use what you got left. There you go. On to Iron Man. 1K to go. Iron Man sprint.
There we go. The sprint is on.
Oh gosh, Spider-Man just crashed. Did he take anybody out with him? He does not. Hulk 500 meters to the line. And we might get a top 10 here, but everybody else is so much faster than we are. Oh my gosh, look at him fly by. Here's Hulk's sprint of 60. Barely passes Iron Man with that thing. And everybody else flies by. We don't get a top 10. We will get a top 25. 15th. 19th.
The tail enders are still coming in.
And a dead man. Dead man walking. Star-Lord. No, it was Spider-Man. There you go. There's Spider-Man. Oh, man. Captain. What can you do? 1K to go. Sprint. Past one rider. That's how weak we are. That's how weak we are. What? We got 2 riders in the top 20. Couldn't get a top 10. I knew that our only real legitimate shot at top 10 was from that breakaway. And when Rally and EF both decided that they had this thing covered, well, it was quite evident. Rally, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 8th. Logan Owen was 14th. Nielsen Palace was 16th. TJ Van Garderen was 18th. EF, terrible day for them. Holy cow. Rally did not get the win, though. All over. They smothered the top 10. But they could not get the win. So they did not succeed either. It was Quinn Simmons. The young, punchy U20 whatever champion. And also douchebag of the year. He got into some trouble this year, if you didn't know. Anyway, All right, well, 15th. Will that go down as something? I don't know. Let's find out. We won't know yet because Black Widow's got the National Road Champion. No, she does not have the National Road Championship. No, thank you. She has a race to run. Does she not? I think she does. Yeah, can't do Tour de Bois and can't start it on day 2. Tour de Bois is getting ready to start. That's what should be up next. I have a serious dilemma that there's not much I can do about it, and it's going to cause us a bit of a problem. That problem is, well, Thor just raced in the Norwegian National Championship. Took 37th out of 38 riders. Single rider finished behind him. Yeah, the not so strong Odd Christian Eiking is the winner. Rider that I had on my Kurmo team, I think a year ago. PCM20. It's not that Thor finished in 37th that is a problem. It's that Thor is here at all. If you know about the mechanics of the game much, I'm sure most of you do, when you have national championships come along, you can't quick sim with unselected riders. You have to, at minimum, have one rider going. So for the U.S. National Championships, we could have sent one rider and unselected all the rest and quick simmed and saved those riders for another race, like, say, the Tour de Bois. This is now the one and only place left where I actually have some type of chance of unselecting one of the riders and using that one rider for the Tour de Bois. Meaning I can have either Deadpool or Wolverine, as we have 2 Canadians. And yes, Deadpool and Wolverine are both from Canada, not from the US. But I'm left with a very tricky situation. Either A, I have literally one rider for our Tour de Bois squad, which is not going to go down too well, or I select both of them here and literally have no riders for the Tour de Bois, which with nothing selectable, I'll be able to quick sim and bypass and just not participate, or I end up with a totally broken game. I've never had that situation where I couldn't select anybody. So do I take that tricky one? Do I take the risk of breaking the game here by having no one to select for that race? Tricky. Bad scenario either way. Either I have one rider and just quick sim and take it that we're not going to win. That's probably the smarter thing to do, as opposed to potentially breaking the game entirely. Yeah, we'll do that. I don't want to break the game. I forgot Black Panther had already done the road race for Uganda. So actually we do have 2 riders. That's not good. We're going to fail this objective. So instead of playing that one out, I'm just going to put myself out of my misery and get away from this one. We get 5 single pluses for 5 national championship results of roughly top 25 or better. Of course, the Uganda one for Black Panther, 2nd out of 2. Woo! But still nothing in the other departments. We'll see when we actually get going forward if we can find something somewhere. But right now, we're on the verge of survival, but we still have that handful of objectives to go, 3 of them, and the next one's the one that's going to hurt the most. So we'll see how we're looking in a couple days when this Tour de Bois is done and we don't have our stage win in order. 2 top 10s after that, but the chrono, Kristen Armstrong, that's not going to happen. It's a time trial. So Delta Road Race is the only chance we have of succeeding this season. Ouch. That 11th place at the Winston-Salem Classic could come back to bite us. That's so close that we were. If we can't get Delta Road Race, it's a half star. It's not going to make a big boost, but all we need is maybe a couple percentage points. We'll see how we're looking after Tour de Bois anyway. Looking down at the sponsor confidence, the arrow pointer is where the line was. Of course, you can see where the line is now. It's still above red, but it's only about 12%. It was maybe 15 or 16% before. It went down, but we still have a small chance. 2 objectives left, only half stars. That one was 1.5. So you could expect to lose 1 to 2% per at most. And, maybe we can, I don't know. Because this next one's going to fail too. That last one's going to be so important. Of course, the noteworthy results, those 5 little pluses. Is that 5 percentage points? I don't think so, but is it a couple percentage points? I mean, we have something in results. And I don't know how that can get much worse. Because we've failed all 4, including the 2 biggest. Technically, we've had one partial failure and 1 definite failure, but not, max failure. We're not going to get anything at that Chrono Kristen Armstrong, but it's not going to stop me from trying. I don't think we'll get top 25, but it's not going to stop me from trying. And I think at this point, we might have to play out all of the remaining races. Chrono Kristen Armstrong is next. Delta Road Race after that. The only other race is the Tour of Utah. But if we somehow steal top 25, top 10, maybe, especially as it's an American race, maybe we can. We're not going to get that because it's a mountain and a time trial. We're not going to get a top 10 there. So we'll kind of have to see how these next 2 races go and see if there's any hope for salvaging the sponsor confidence or getting into the database and doing just enough to see that we have enough to stay alive, 11% kind of thing. May end up having to do that just to keep the sponsorship intact as we go forward. I don't think it's going to be a problem next season, but we'll see. There could be more demands. We're still going to be a very, very small continental team next season, and the experiment is on the development of the team, not focusing on sponsor confidence. This is the only season that this matters. Plenty of money, and it's really not the end of the world if we end up with a different sponsor. But I mean, come on, I put in time and effort to build our own team and have our own jerseys, and I'd like to maintain that piece, that aspect. The experiment's about the riders, not about the sponsor. And yeah, I don't want that to steal all of the attention. All right, well, anyway, those 2 races coming up in the next episode, so we will find out the state of the team, the state of affairs there then. And it's still only July, so we will have some time. Actually, we won't have much time because the sponsor signing period is before the end of the Tour of Utah. So we'll know by the day after the Delta Road Race if we need to tweak the database to resurrect and pump a little life into the sponsor. There you go. So we'll know next episode. That's going to do it for this one, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button. I'll see you next time. We have not leveled up, but it's also only been, 4 days? Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.